Good morning, 10th grade. I wonder how you are this morning. Give you a heads up on the lesson today. There's two sections, and I thought about just doing the one section, and then I thought, you know what? There's no rest for the weary. Take courage, brace up, face it head on. We're going to get through this book. We're going to do it dog eat dog, okay? Get a little grit, toughen up. We're going to whip it. So today we're going to do from page 14 to 17 first, and then I'll catch my breath and you catch your breath, and we'll just start right in, and we'll do from page 17 to 22. Okay? So take a good deep breath. Get your cup of coffee, whatever it takes to make you comfortable. Get it quiet so you can concentrate, and we're off. We're adding numbers, and I said we'll do the first one on page 14. So you study your graphs, and we'll start out. Here we go. Can you see that? I changed my lighting, and it just about looks funny, and it looks a little dark. Am I dark? Maybe I'll have to do something different. It was reflecting on my board, so I redone it. Negative 11 and positive 3, combine those. You combine like terms, makes you negative 8. You know the addition rule: opposite signs subtract, like signs add. Okay? Use the same sign. When you subtract, use a bigger sign. So 3 from 11 is 8, use the bigger sign. Same way here, opposite signs. So I subtract 7 from 8, and that means me 1 negative. No, don't put your 1 negative, put your negative x. And come over here again, 6 from 14. Negative is a negative number, so your opposite signs makes you 8x squared. Always use the same exponent in the back. Just bring it straight down. That's like your label. 8x squared, negative x, negative 8. Next one. Simple. I can see you're relaxing already. This is a little bit tougher. It's decimals. Use your calculator if you want. I didn't use my calculator, but here is a negative and a negative, so I added them. 6 and 8 is 14. 4 carried 1 made me 11.4. Here you got both x's, so add point. Oh, you got opposite signs. Subtract 0.9 from 2.4. I think that is negative 1.5x. And the next one is 4.1x squared. Subtract, oh yes, subtract 1.7 makes you 2.4x squared. Now that's your problem. That's simple. Positive, oh no, do you see what happened? Now we went to subtraction. You can see that, yeah, you can see that. Subtraction mark, 2.7, turn the page. Let you do the rest of them. You got some horizontals, you can do them horizontals. Make sure you add like terms, okay? You dare not add, if they do not have the same exponent in the back, you dare not add them. Okay, so watch that there. Here we're subtraction. You know what you do in subtraction? You go through and change all the signs in the subtract hand. All the bottom signs you change. Okay, you ready with me? That means this is a negative 9, okay? I'm going to make a big mark across there. This is going to be a positive x. Can you see that? Can you see those big signs? And this one was a negative, so I'm going to make him a positive. And now I just simply use my addition rules. Go back to my addition procedures, but it's your problem, remember? I have a negative 9 and a positive. Oh no, negative. Like signs add. Negative 19. Thank you. Thank you, Drayton, for getting that answer. Here you have an x and a 5. You know this is a 1. This is positive. This is positive. Like signs, I do what, Jenna? Add, sure. 1 plus 5 is 6x. Thank you, Jenna. Shauna, this is yours. The last one's yours. Andrea, can you help her out? You have x squared 2x squared and 3x squared, they're both positive. And Shauna, you tell me, yes, 5x squared. That's simple. Yeah. Now we should probably check that. I should have put the positive, whoa, yeah, positive sign there and the negative sign here. Okay, let me check that problem just to be sure. Whoa. It's a negative. Did I copy it wrong? Or something? My answer that I have, well, I better check the answer key. 2.7 is, 2.7 is negative x. 6x negative 19. No, I have made a mistake here. This was a negative. I must have made it a negative. I was not supposed to. This answer here was a positive, and so I should have made it a negative, which made opposite terms 3 from 2. Sorry, I copied it out of the book wrong. That's where I was wrong. So that makes you x squared plus 6x negative 19 is a correct answer. Yeah, make sure you copy them right. You can see what happens when you don't. Okay, I'm going up here to this problem up here, 2.19. And let me change the lighting here. I don't like it. It looks dark in here. I have this studio set up here, and it's kind of makeshift, okay? It's not child-proof, so if little children, not 10th graders, I mean 1st graders come through here, they can easily knock the lighting down. Matter of fact, it's fell down on its own already. 219. You have x squared plus 4x negative 1, and you're you're subtracting. Is that what you're doing? Oh, I see what the problem was. This is a story problem. I forgot. What must be added to 3x plus 7 to make x squared plus 4x negative 1? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Well, if you want to know what's added, you have to subtract the two numbers. And when she started thinking about it, you say, duh, that's easy. So I subtracted the 3x plus 7. And as you see, I put the terms there. Then I subtracted them and I changed the sign here. This is a positive 7 now. So I erase this here. Positive 7 and negative 1. I combine those two. Positive 6. 3 negative and 4x. That's down to 1x, which is just only x. And then I had nothing to subtract here, so I brought this here straight down. Simple? Should be. You've done these last year. Now I did 217 yet, and then we'll move on. On 217, oh yeah, I'm jumping backwards there. I was going to do 221, and then I changed my mind, and I did 217. 217 does have 3 problems, and so I set it up in a thing like this. I almost think it would be better if you would go through and do it horizontally and add the ones that have the same exponents, the same last numbers. Add those, and then when you add them, of course, write them over here and cross them out. That's the way I do it in my book. If I do horizontally, the ones that are the same, I connect them with a little line. Add these two, put them over here. Maybe you have 3 terms. But I wrote them out on this board to show you kind of how it works. It is a little bit more confusing this way sometimes. You see you had a 5m3. It's a positive. And then you had a 3mn squared. Now you see that mn squared, you have 3 of those guys. These 3 guys right here all are in the same category. I had an n3. There were no other n3s. I had an m2n. Okay, that's almost the same as this, but not quite. You can't add it with these. And then I have the 5, and I should put a little mark here. The 5m3 and 2m3 are the same. When they have the same the same letter and the same number, you can add them exponents and variables. If the variable and exponent are same, then you can add them. If they're not, you cannot add them. Okay, so here we go. Negative n3. There was nothing to do there. Now here I've got a negative n, and here's a positive. So that basically just erases those two there. Or you can add them. 3 plus 1 is 4, subtract 1 makes you 3. So you've got 3, and we are using positive terms. 3m n squared. Okay, there's nothing in this one, so you just bring him straight down. 7n squared n. And then this last one, it's a negative 2 and a positive 5 makes you 3m cubed. It's a positive answer. You don't have to write it now. Let me check that to be sure that I did that correctly. I was on 217. 217 is 3m, 3m, 7n, 3m, n, negative 3. Sure enough. Believe it or not, I got that one right. Here we go. Take another drink of coffee. Relax. We're turning the page to division with polynomials. Have you figured this book out? Do you know how these books are set up? Yeah, I shouldn't tell you this, okay? So then you won't feel bad, okay? But if I tell you the truth of the matter is, you see in this book here, this little line, that little line right there, those little bumps, that means that that's starting another lesson, okay? That means that this is the next day. Okay, shh, don't tell nobody we're doing 2 days work though. Excuse me. Division with polynomials. Now we have division problems, and you should remember from last year doing some of these division problems. They start you out extremely elementary level, and then they just work you up real fast. Okay, so if you look at the first one on page 17 to 22, and I will do a little bit on 23. Okay, so if you look there at your number 18, 19 instructions, you're going to need to read that. I'm in a hurry this afternoon. This is actually a Tuesday afternoon, and it's about 3 o'clock. I'm ready to go home, but I'm gonna get your math on before I do that. So I tell you, take a note. Read all that. I'm in a hurry. I'm not going to go read that for you. I'm in a hurry, but I'm doing 2.22. Ready, set, go. 14y squared into 28. Do your whole numbers first. 14 will go into 28 2 times. Y4 and y6, subtract. Sure, you know how to do that. When you divide, subtract the 2, from the 4 from the 6, and you come up with 2 left. So your answer is 2y squared. I didn't do any problems. I did that in my head. You can do the next one in your head. You want to do that? No, I'll let you do that in your head. I'm going to go down to 225. 2.25, they're getting just a little bit tougher. Brace up a little bit. You have a plus 2 divided by 3a plus a. Okay, so you say, how many a's will go into 3 a's? 3. How many 1s will go into 3? Take 3. Okay, so put 3a up here. I'm not sure. Sometimes they told you to put it back here. I put it up here. I don't think it makes a whole lot of difference. My preference is to put it back here, but I think the book shows you to put it up here. So anyhow, if I put it back here, I put 3a, and then I know exactly what exponent to put on there. Okay? But they put it up here, so I'm going to let that. 3 times 2 is 6a. 3 times a is 3a squared. Because you got an a here and an a here, that makes you 2 a's. So that makes you a squared. 3 times 1 is 3a squared. Now you're ready to subtract this problem, subtraction. And when you do subtraction, let's see what I do here. Yeah, 3 times 2 is 6, and that's supposed to be a positive. But you change all the subtraction. So this is a negative, and this is a negative. Okay, 3a from 3a, that's done. That's 0. Now you subtract negative 6 from positive a, That is opposite signs, so you come up, you subtract. You change the sign and do the addition rule. So opposite sign subtract makes you 5a. Now bring down your negative 10. How many times will 1 go into 5? 5 times, but you're negative, okay? You're a negative number. 5 negative. That's the reason I like it back here, because then you know there's no exponent. It'd be back here. Now you go 5 times 2 is 10, and that is a negative, and 5 times a is 5a, 0. Come out perfectly. Now they don't always come out perfectly, okay? They don't. If they don't come out perfectly, if you have a remainder, let's say we had a remainder 5, we'll talk about that. No, we shouldn't do 5 because we got 5. Let's go to remainder 2. If you'd have had a remainder 2, you would have put it in a fraction. 2 on top and a plus 2 on bottom. A plus 2 on bottom. That's just an example. We'll get to that in just a minute. The book tells you that too. If you read the instructions, you know that already. 229 gets a little bigger. I'm going pretty fast. You get the ones in between. Whenever you feel like it, you go back and watch the video, however you want to do it. 229 is just a little bit bigger. You got 2y plus 3 into 4y, 3y. You know, here this time I moved it back. You can see how I did that. Turn this thing so you can see here. 2 will go into 4 2 times. So I got 2y. I put this 2y above here. 2 times 3 is 6. There's somebody put that negative there. I wasn't supposed to do that. 2 times 3 is 6 positive. And 2 times 2 is 4. And so now, and I have the 2y. Now I'm going to subtract, so that makes this a negative, and it makes this a negative. Okay? The rule is subtract 3, opposite sign, subtract 3 from 6 makes me a negative 3y. And then I'll bring down my 7. Now this was a little bit tougher. It didn't come out evenly like the other one did. So I say, oh, how many times will 2 go into 3? Oh, well, in a regular division problem, you say 1, and then you have a big remainder. Well, this one here, you're going to say it's going to go 1.5 times. And they put it in an improper fraction. All theirs are in improper fractions. You can do it however, but if you want to put 1.5, I don't know that I would count it wrong. They put 3 over 2. Okay, 3 over 2 times 3 is going to be 4.5, or 9 over 2. Can't see that, can you? 3 times 3 is 9, and 2 is your bottom, or 4.5. And then 2/3 times 2y is 3y. The reason you did that, or the reason I did that, the reason the book did that, the reason you want to do that is to get this 3y even. And then you have a work down to remainder. Okay? So now you're ready to just go and subtract. I put it in 4.5 because 9/2 is not a good way to subtract it. It's difficult to subtract a fraction from a whole number, or especially an improper fraction. So if you go 4 from 11.5, it's a subtraction problem, so you make it a positive. And of course this one is a positive too, but that one's done. So you got 4 plus 7 makes you 11.5. Okay, now don't look at the pink here, we're just looking at the purple. So you have 11.5, and now you put this in a fraction form, 11.5, and then use this for your denominator, 2y plus 3. And I put the plus sign here just to show that you add that onto your thing. I think there is a plus sign in the answer key. Getting a little tougher? Feel okay yet? Okay. You keep working out some of those other problems, and I ended you at page 222. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. And there's a reason I ended you there. The reason is because 23, not 222, at 22. At 23, 22, you can whip those guys out yet. You might have to do a little looking back at the book. I think I got most examples. But 23 has got some serious problems. And so you have to look at your last models in your instructions, and it shows you there how you have to annex zeros to fill in spots. So I will do 241 for you, and I will let you do 240 of your choice. Let me see how to say this. If you do 240, you can skip 2 other problems anywhere in the lesson. Okay? So if you want to skip 240, I will give you permission to skip it. But then you have to do all the other problems. The reason is 240 is like 241. So let me show you what happens with 241. This is 241. It's brown. I don't know if you can tell the color. This is a problem. Okay? You started out with xn, a-n, negative a-n. That was your number outside the box. That's your divisor. Your dividend is x5n, negative a5n. Okay, here you got x5n. Okay, can you see that number right there? There's x5n. And here is negative a5n. That's what you have in the book. You have this term and this term. Now what do you think about all this in between here? The book tells you how to do that. And you need to do that to be able to divide the problem. You have to add the exponents. Can you see that? Does that look a little dark, or does that look a little far? Maybe if I would pull this. No, I can't get too much closer, then you can't see it. Is that visible? Why don't you tell me something? You don't answer me back. I asked you questions, and you just zip. If you would answer me back, then I would know. Can you see? I'll tell you what, this generation, rude. That's the word, rude. You see, let me show you what I did here. And I wouldn't know how to do this without the book's help, okay? So I'll explain. They annex 0, 4a, x4n, okay? We had x5n, so then they put 0, x4n, an. They put 1a. Okay, now let me just go through here and point out to you just a couple little things that you can follow. Consider this was 5n, so I need to make this one 4n, x4n. And then this is x3n, 0x3n. Now keep following, 0x2n and 0x1n. Okay? And then I had to repeat because I had the negative a and I had a 5n. This is, oh wait a minute. Yeah, in my problem I had the negative 5an. So here I started exactly the opposite. I had the a as a 5n. Here is my a4n. Here is my a3n. Here's my a2n and my an. Okay? You see, I did the last one backwards from the way I did the first exponent or variable. Yeah, there we go. The first variable, I made it go backwards to nothing, and the back one I made it from 5 go up to nothing. Okay, the book tells you how to do that. You must always do that when you add your zeros and work them out that way. So now I'm ready to work the problem. You see, once you have it set up like this and have that correct, the rest of the problem is very simple. It's not difficult to work this out down through here. And so I started out, how many 1x's will go into 1x? Well, just one. But I just use x, and then I use a 4 in because I'm going to add an in. Okay, that's just partly understood. Oh yeah, I gotta take a drink. I'll tell you, this here you get so dry you can't even spit. Looks like Kaylin's coming back. I wonder why. She's not gonna talk to me though. It looks like she's trying to be real quiet so she don't see us. She must be dropping something off. Yeah, I could turn this thing back here so you can see her. How would you like that? Here we're going to go back up here again. Sorry, after I got my Coke down, my drink down, I'm ready to go again. You got x4 in. 1 go into 1, it's 1x4 in. And now you multiply that there, and you see here you got 4a, so you got 4x. Let me back up here again. x4 in would be x4a in a, and x5 in. And you got a negative sign, so you have a negative answer. And now you x times x in, and makes you x5 in. And you subtract, which brings you down, this makes this a positive answer. So you bring down a positive, so this is positive 4x8 in, then you bring down this 0 here, and this 2, of course, you keep them together because here's your plus signs, here, here, here. That means it's 3 in, a in. So you go 3a in, that's 4 in, a in, negative, again because you're going negative, you get negative 3 in, a in squared. And again you subtract, and that makes this a positive, and so you got a positive sign, x3 in, you can drop the 0, a in, and then you bring down this guy here. And you do it again. Every time you drop back 1, and you add 1. You're 2 in, 2, see you was 3 in, here you was in. Here you're 2 in, here you're 2 in. Here you drop back, you're an in, and you're 3 in. So if you want to look and see what happens with your answer, you see you got x4 in, x3 in, x2 in, x in, nothing. Keep working down step by step. And you do the same thing. You start out with a in, just like you do here, a2 like you got here, a3 like you have here, and then a4 in the back. And thankfully enough, when you get all the way down, you keep working it down, bring from there, you'll bring this one down to here, and then you'll bring this one down to here. And just working out each step, it comes out 0. It comes out perfect. Now, if your mind's not really set down, take it a little easy, take a deep breath, get a chill Coke to drink, relax, call me on the phone, I'll help you out. And if you're really feeling tough and burly, hit that number 240 and we'll go from there. Yeah, that's the end for today. I hope you are not frustrated. See you.